Hey guys, out doing a little bit of some hill climbing, getting ready for some outdoor activity coming up in a couple of months. Going to be heading out to Wyoming, and anyway, I don't know if you guys are like me, but it's always fun to get outside, and particularly to have a goal out in the future of doing something a little bit bigger than just your local activities. But anyway, as I get older, the battle becomes a little bit harder. I'm just telling you. But, as I am outside just this morning, I wanted to share a thought with you guys. And that is, we have in nature many object lessons. Jesus was a master at revealing those kind of things to the common man. And they would unpack that for many different times during their life. So I was just out here this morning and I saw something that I'm familiar with, but maybe those of you aren't. But it almost looks like some dog barf in mulch. So mulch, a lot of times you spread it around the house, around plants and whatnot, especially hardwood mulch. And when it starts breaking down, it's being broken down by a lot of fungus, particularly. And the fungus, as it grows through it with its mycelium, it digests it by extracellular digestion. It's outside of itself. It's kind of like, imagine putting your hand into a bowl of mashed potatoes and actually having those mashed potatoes getting digested by your hand, and then just absorbing the nutrients that are broken down into your skin. Imagine that. That's kind of how fungus works. The mycelium, like roots, it grows into the food. You've probably seen it in bread and in the refrigerator in unsightly ways. But anyway, but there's this one type of thing that's called slime mold that I find is really interesting. It's not really a mold at all. It's actually what is known as a protist. So there are two types of slime molds. There's the cellular slime mold, which has independent cells like amoeba that are moving around digesting organic material. And then there is acellular slime mold, which is like, imagine an egg. An egg, you crack it open and it's got one yolk in the middle. And the yolk would be analogous to a cell with a nucleus, for example. But the acellular slime mold has multiple nuclei. So there could be one ginormous cell, you might say, with maybe 100 different nuclei or nucleus. And all this stuff gets into the biology, but the reason I bring this out is I see in what's going on in the world in these final days is what I'll just say is a slime mold apocalypse. And the slime mold is something that as it feeds, it likes moisture, it likes the right temperature. And so as it feeds along in the mulch, it's having a party, it's going about its way, no care for tomorrow. But eventually, there's no rain for a period of time, and the medium that it's growing in is starting to dry out. And when it dries out, it no longer can thrive. It no longer can live. And so what it does, especially the cellular slime mold, all of these little cells like amoeba that are going around feeding, they actually become a little bit stressed. They become stimulated to come together. And as they come together, they reproduce. So why am I sharing this with you? Well, I think it's this way. We are living in the closing, I believe, years of Earth's history. And because of the wealth of at least America and many other countries around the world, we have been able to become very independent from one another. I don't need you. I can go about like these little cellular slime mold, like little amoeba. We're just going around doing our business. And yet when we come to a stressful time, like I believe is on the horizon, when we run out of these easy days where we can be independent of one another, we've got to come together. Already, that's one of the big things about our ministry, Blueprint for Men, is that we need to come together. We've got to press together as men. We know that that's a biblical principle. We need to press together with our families. We need to press together with our church. And as we press together, we're actually doing it to reproduce. Isn't that interesting? So I'm going to flip the camera around here, and I want to show you what this slime mold looks like, and maybe you can see some of this out in your, somewhere out and about you. I don't know if I can flip this around. I'm going to make another shot here to show you what I've got. So right here in the mulch is this slime mold, and you can see that it's been growing in the mulch, and right now it's coming together into a formation that is much more visible, and it's going to produce what are called sporangia, and they produce spores that allow it to reproduce. Next to it here, I don't know if you can see these are little bird nest fungus. You can see the tiny little egg-like structures inside of them. But fungus is everywhere, growing, decomposing, and doing its job to recycle nutrients. So to close up, I just want to say, where are you at in this story? Are you still living independently, going about your business, independent of other men, of other godly people? Or are you coming together with others so that we can reproduce the gospel in our own selves? I know this morning in my devotional I was reading about how humility is just really the most foundational principle of God's kingdom. And whoever elevates himself will be humbled, and whoever humbles himself will be elevated. We know that Jesus was the ultimate example of this. He is the blueprint, and I can't think of anything more lowly than this slime mold, giving us an example of how the world works and how we need to press together so we can reproduce God's kingdom in our hearts and around the world as we await the Lord's return. Hope you have a great week. Thanks, guys.